Captain Alex Carter stood at the viewing window of the starship Endeavour, gazing at the swirling blue and green planet below. This was Valithra, home of the insect-like Valithrians, and the heart of an empire that had once been Earth's greatest rival. Now, after years of tense standoffs and cold silence, Alex was here as a peacekeeper, a symbol of hope for both worlds. Alex was not a typical ambassador. He was a soldier, a warrior with scars and medals, chosen for his courage and quick thinking. Some thought he was the wrong choice for such an important mission. Others believed only a true warrior could earn the respect of the Valithrians, whose society honored strength above all. The ship's doors hissed open behind him. Commander Lin, his loyal friend, stepped in with a reassuring smile. "Nervous?" she asked. Alex laughed quietly. "If I say yes, do I lose my brave warrior status?" "Never," Lin said. "But remember, they're not like us. Their customs are strange. Just be careful." Alex nodded, straightening his crisp uniform. He looked at his reflection. He saw a man who had survived many battles, but today felt like his greatest challenge. He walked through the ship's corridors, heart pounding as the landing signal flashed. The shuttle ride to the surface was smooth. Outside, Valithra looked almost magical. Tall, crystal towers rose from the green jungles, shining in the alien sunlight. The air was sweet with the scent of strange flowers. In the distance, golden-winged creatures soared above a sparkling lake. As Alex stepped onto the landing pad, a group of Valithrians awaited him. They were tall, with shimmering carapaces and large, intelligent eyes. At their center stood Queen Zalira herself, dressed in robes of silver and blue, her crown glimmering with precious stones. "Welcome, Captain Carter," the Queen said, her voice smooth and melodic. "Your courage brings you far from home." Alex bowed deeply, remembering his training. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I come in peace, representing all of Earth." The Queen studied him with curious eyes. "You are not what I expected of a human warrior. I sense honesty and something else. Fear or hope?" Alex smiled, feeling the tension ease a little. "Maybe both, but I hope we can be friends." Queen Zalira's expression softened. She turned and gestured for him to follow her into the palace. "Come, Captain. Tonight, we hold a feast in your honor. It is tradition on Valithra to welcome new friends with open arms and full tables." Alex followed, marveling at the glittering halls filled with strange music and glowing lights. As he entered the great hall, the eyes of 100 Valithrians watched him with curiosity and wonder. For the first time, Alex truly felt the weight of his mission. But beneath it all, there was excitement. Maybe, just maybe, this would be the start of a new age, one where humans and Valithrians walked together in peace. The grand hall of the Valithrian palace was brighter than any place Alex had ever seen. Crystal lanterns hung from the ceiling, glowing with soft blue light. Strange music floated through the air, played on instruments shaped like spirals and shells. The tables were covered with dishes of all shapes and colors, food that looked both beautiful and a little bit dangerous. Alex took his seat beside Queen Zalira, trying to look relaxed. On his other side sat Commander Lin, who kept whispering reminders about alien customs. The Valithrians ate with their hands, using special gestures to show respect before each bite. Alex copied them as best as he could, feeling awkward but determined to do well. The Queen smiled at his effort. "You are learning quickly, Captain. Few outsiders have ever sat at this table." Alex nodded. "I'm honored to be here. Your world is amazing." At that moment, servants arrived carrying a large, sparkling fruit on a silver platter. It glowed softly, pulsing with light. All the Valithrians stood and bowed their heads. Zalira spoke in a deep, formal voice. "Tonight, in the spirit of trust, we share the heart of Valithra." Commander Lin leaned in, her voice tense. "Alex, I've read about this. It's a sacred tradition." Before Alex could reply, The queen herself cut a slice and offered it to him. The hall fell silent. Alex felt every eye on him. Refusing the fruit would be an insult. Taking a deep breath, he accepted the slice and took a careful bite. The taste was unlike anything he had ever known. It was sweet, cool, and seemed to fill his whole body with light. For a moment, his mind felt wide open, as if he could hear distant voices and feel the heartbeat of the planet. The Valithrians cheered, clapping their hands together in a rhythm that echoed through the hall. Zalira smiled, looking pleased. "You have honored us, Captain. Tonight, you are truly one of us." Alex grinned, relief washing over him. The rest of the banquet passed in a blur of laughter, stories, and more strange foods. The Valithrians shared tales of ancient heroes, while Alex told funny stories about Earth that made everyone laugh, even the royal guards. As the feast ended, the queen stood and raised her hands. "Let this night be remembered as the beginning of a new era. Captain Carter has shown great courage and trust. May our worlds grow closer." Alex bowed, feeling proud. But as he stood, he felt a strange warmth in his chest, almost like a gentle electric current. He brushed it off as nerves and excitement. Late that night, back in his guest room, Alex looked out over the alien city. He felt both exhausted and strangely energized. He had no idea that the fruit he had eaten was more than just a symbol. It was the first step in an ancient rite, one that would change not only his life, but the fate of two worlds. The morning sun rose over Valithra, shining through Alex's window and waking him gently. He stretched, expecting to feel tired after the long night. But instead, he felt unusually strong and clear-headed. There was a strange energy in his body, like a humming just beneath his skin. Alex dressed quickly and met Commander Lynn in the hallway. She looked worried. "Did you feel anything strange after the banquet?" she asked quietly. Alex nodded, unsure. "It's like something is different, but I can't explain it." Before they could talk more, a pair of royal guards arrived and bowed deeply. "Her Majesty requests your presence," one said, their voice formal but kind. Alex followed the guards through twisting halls of glass and crystal, noticing Valithrians bowing as he passed. He wondered what they saw: a hero, a curiosity, or perhaps a guest who had eaten the sacred heart of Valithra. Queen Zalira waited for him in a bright garden filled with flowers that glowed in the morning light. She stood near a small fountain, her silver and blue robes shining. "Good morning, Captain Carter," she greeted him. "Did you sleep well?" Alex smiled politely. "Yes, thank you, Your Majesty. Everything here is remarkable." She studied him closely, her large eyes thoughtful. "Last night, you took part in a very old and important tradition. Eating the heart of Valithra is not just a gesture of trust. It is part of a sacred rite. Only those truly welcomed by the Valithrian people may taste it." Alex felt a chill. What does the rite mean? Zalira walked closer, her tone gentle. "It is an ancient custom. Long ago, our ancestors believed that sharing the heart would bind the guest and the royal family together. It means you are now part of Valithra's future, connected to us in a way few outsiders ever are." Alex tried to process this. "So it's not just a fruit. It's a kind of bond." She nodded. "Yes, some say it connects souls. For us, it shows the deepest level of trust. You are now more than a guest, Captain. You are family." Commander Lynn, standing nearby, looked shocked. "Does this mean Alex is?" Zalira smiled. "Yes, Commander. He is now linked to Valithra, and to me, by the oldest law we have." Alex's mind spun. He felt proud but also nervous. He wanted peace between their worlds, but he had never expected something so personal. The Queen saw his confusion and placed a hand gently on his shoulder. "Do not fear, Alex. This is a good thing. You have brought hope to my people. Tonight, we will celebrate again, but in a smaller way. I will teach you more about our ways, and together, We can dream of a better future. As Alex walked through the glowing garden, he realized his mission had changed. He wasn't just an ambassador now. He was part of something much greater, a bond that might bring two worlds together forever. Days passed, and Alex found himself growing more comfortable in the palace. The Valithrians treated him with kindness and respect wherever he went. Even the palace staff started to smile and wave when they saw him. Alex and Queen Zalira spent many hours together, learning about each other's worlds and laughing over their cultural differences. But something strange was happening. It started with the queen. One morning, she canceled their meeting, saying she was feeling unwell. The palace healers whispered among themselves, confused. They ran tests and gave her special teas, but nothing seemed to help. Zalira grew tired quickly and sometimes held her stomach as if she felt something unusual inside. Alex worried about her. He asked Commander Lynn if it was common for Valithrians to fall sick. Lynn shook her head. I don't think so. The queen is strong. This is different. Meanwhile, Alex was feeling changes in himself too. He was stronger, his mind sharper. He could sense the feelings of people around him, like soft music in the background. He tried to talk to Zalira about it, but she only smiled and said, "You are feeling the connection grow. It is the power of the right." Soon, the palace healers called for a private meeting with the queen and Alex. Inside the healing room, the air was tense. The chief healer, an old Valithrian with golden eyes, spoke softly. "We have made a discovery. Your Majesty, you are not sick. You are expecting." Zalira looked shocked. "Expecting? You mean?" The healer nodded. "Yes, Your Majesty. The signs are clear. And the energy within you is not just Valithrian. It is mixed, something we have never seen before." Alex stared in disbelief. "Wait, are you saying the right did this?" The healer nodded again. "The heart of Valithra is powerful. When shared with a true soul, it can create new life, life that holds the promise of both worlds." For a long moment, no one spoke. Alex's heart raced. He never imagined his mission would lead to this. Zalira looked at him, her eyes wide but not afraid. "This is impossible, but also a miracle." Outside, the news spread quickly. Some Valithrians celebrated, believing the child would bring great fortune. Others whispered in fear, worried that a human Valithrian child would change everything. On Earth, the news sent shockwaves through the highest councils. Leaders argued about what should be done. Was this a threat, or the greatest chance for peace? Alex visited Zalira that evening. She sat by the window, the city lights glowing below. He placed his hand gently on hers. "Whatever happens, I will stand by you." Zalira smiled, her eyes shining with hope. "And together, we will show our people a new way forward." As the stars filled the sky, Alex knew his life would never be the same, and neither would the future of two worlds. The news of Queen Zalira's pregnancy spread like wildfire. In the vast halls of the Valithrian palace, whispers echoed through every corridor. Some saw the unborn child as a blessing, a sign of hope and unity. Others saw it as a threat to their ancient traditions. Outside the palace, protests began. Groups of Valithrians gathered in the streets, waving banners that called for the queen to reject the human influence. "Keep Valithra pure," they shouted. "No hybrid child." Alex watched from a balcony, the city bustling beneath him. He had never seen so much fear and anger. Earth's diplomats sent urgent messages, some full of concern, others demanding that the human government take control. The peaceful mission was quickly spiraling into chaos. Inside the palace, Queen Zalira faced her council. The elder advisors questioned her decision. "Your Majesty, this child is unknown. What if it weakens our bloodline? What if it brings disaster?" Zalira's voice was calm but firm. "This child is not a weakness. It is a bridge between our worlds. We must embrace change or be left behind." But not everyone agreed. One advisor, a stern Velithrian named Corin, stood up. "Your Majesty, you risk everything. Our people will not follow a ruler who carries a half-human child." The tension was thick. Zalira's eyes met Alex across the room. He gave a small nod, a silent promise that he would support her no matter what. Meanwhile, on Earth, the situation was no less tense. Governments debated the news with caution. Some leaders feared the child could be used as a weapon or a tool of control. Others saw the potential for peace and cooperation like never before. At a special meeting, Earth's top officials discussed their next steps. "Captain Carter's role must be reevaluated," said one diplomat. "We cannot allow one man to alter the fate of two civilizations without oversight." Alex listened quietly from a secure communication room. He felt the weight of responsibility crushing him. He had wanted peace. Now his very existence was causing war. Despite the turmoil, Zalira refused to give in to fear. She called a meeting with Alex and her closest advisors. "We must unite our people," she said. "If we show strength and hope, the fear will fade." Alex suggested they hold a public ceremony to honor the bond between Earth and Valithra. "We can show everyone that this child is a symbol of peace." Zalira smiled. "A good idea, Captain. Let us prepare." As they made plans, a shadow moved through the palace halls. Not all enemies wore open faces. Some plotted in secret, ready to strike when the time was right. Alex knew the road ahead would be dangerous, but he also knew that together, he and Zalira could face whatever came. For the sake of their child and the future of both worlds. The palace was buzzing with activity as preparations for the peace ceremony began. Yet, beneath the glittering halls and smiling faces, shadows lurked. Alex could feel it, danger close, hidden among the crowd. One evening, while walking through the palace gardens with Queen Zalira, Alex noticed a figure watching them from the shadows. The figure slipped away as Alex moved closer, but the unease stayed with him. Back in his quarters, Alex and Commander Lin reviewed security reports. "There have been strange movements in the city," Lin said. "We think some Valithrian extremists don't like this union." Alex frowned. "Do you think they will try to harm the Queen or the child?" Lin nodded grimly. "It's possible. We need to be ready." That night, Alex's instincts proved right. As Zalira returned from a meeting, a small group of attackers struck the palace gates. Their weapons were sharp and deadly, designed to kill quickly and silently. The palace guards fought fiercely. Alex led the defense, his combat skills proving invaluable. The attackers were few but skilled, and they wanted only one thing: the Queen. In the chaos, Alex spotted the leader of the attackers, a tall Velithrian with cold eyes and a cruel smile. He was a known extremist named Varkan, who believed the Queen's child would ruin Valithra's future. Alex confronted Varkan in a narrow corridor. Their fight was fierce but brief. Using a mix of strength and strategy, Alex disarmed Varkan and held him until the guards arrived. With the attackers captured, the palace settled into tense silence. Zalira thanked Alex for his bravery. "You risked your life for me and our future. I am grateful." But Alex knew this was just the beginning. The extremists were desperate and dangerous. Surprisingly, new allies appeared as well. Young Valithrians who dreamed of peace and change began to approach Alex and Zalira. They'd brought messages of hope and support. One such ally was Lyra, a bright and curious young Valithrian scholar. She fascinated Alex with her knowledge of human history and culture. "You bring something new to Valithra," she said. "We want to learn and grow." Together, Alex, Zalira, and their new friends began planning ways to unite the people. They organized forums, shared stories, and invited citizens from all walks of life to join the conversation. Despite the danger, a spark of hope grew. Alex looked at Zalira one evening as they stood on the palace balcony, the city lights twinkling below. "We have enemies, but we also have friends. That is the strength we must build on." Zalira smiled, her eyes shining with determination. Our child will be a symbol, not just of our bond, but of a new future where two worlds stand as one. Alex nodded, feeling ready for whatever lay ahead. They would face the coming storms together. The weeks passed, and the palace was filled with a strange mixture of excitement and tension. Queen Zalira's pregnancy was growing, and with it, curiosity and hope among many Galathrians. Alex visited her often, watching the changes not only in her, but also in the energy that surrounded them. One afternoon, as Alex sat beside Zalira in the glowing garden, the queen placed her hand on her belly. "The child moves," she said softly. "It is strong." Alex smiled, feeling a new kind of wonder. A child of two worlds. That is something truly special. Velithrian scientists and mystics gathered to study the queen and her unborn child. They discovered something incredible. The child showed signs of unique powers, a blend of human creativity and Velithrian psychic ability. The scientists called it a miracle, while the mystics believed the child was a symbol of destiny. The child's heartbeat could be heard clearly with special instruments, steady and powerful. Alex and Zalira spent many quiet moments imagining the future. They dreamed of a child who could speak both human and Velithrian languages, who could walk between two cultures and bring peace. But not everyone was pleased. Extremists grew more desperate, and secret plans to stop the child's birth continued. Alex doubled the palace security and trained the guards in new tactics. One night, while walking through the palace halls, Alex sensed a strange presence. He followed the feeling to a hidden chamber where an ancient Velithrian artifact pulsed with energy. The artifact seemed connected to the child, glowing brighter than ever. Zalira joined him. "This is the heart of Velithria's power," she explained. "It has chosen our child." Alex touched the artifact carefully. A warm light spread through him, filling him with strength and hope. The child was no ordinary being. It carried the future of two civilizations in its tiny body. Outside the palace, the people began to change their minds. Stories spread about the child's strength and promise. Children played games that combined human and Velithrian traditions. Markets sold goods from both worlds. A new feeling of unity began to grow. Alex and Zalira knew their journey was far from over, but the child gave them a reason to believe. One evening, under the twin moons of Velithria, Alex looked at Zalira. "Our child will be the bridge, the one who brings us all together." Zalira nodded, hope shining in her eyes. "And we will protect that future with all our strength." As stars glittered above, two worlds waited for the birth of a child who could change everything. The peaceful hope that had begun to grow around Queen Zalira's pregnancy was shattered one cold morning. Dark clouds gathered over Velithria, matching the storm brewing in the hearts of many. A powerful group of Velithrian extremists, led by the ruthless Farkan, had secretly gathered forces in the outer city. They believed the child growing inside Zalira was a threat, a dangerous mix that could destroy Velithrian traditions and power. Word reached the palace that the extremists were marching toward the city center, ready to seize control by force. The council met in an emergency session. Tension filled the grand hall as voices argued over how to respond. Zalira stood tall, her voice steady. "We will not let fear divide us. This child is a symbol of hope, and we will protect that future." Alex clenched his fists. "We need to prepare the guards and call on our allies. This is more than politics. It's a battle for our very survival." The palace gates were closed, and guards took their positions. Alex trained the troops, sharing strategies to defend against the extremists' attacks. The young allies, inspired by the Queen and Alex, volunteered to help. As night fell, the extremists launched their attack. The city shook with the sounds of battle, clashing weapons, shouted orders, and the roar of engines. Flames lit the sky as buildings were damaged in the fighting. Alex fought alongside the guards, his skills tested like never before. He protected Zalira, who stayed calm even as danger closed in. At the heart of the palace, Zalira's strength amazed everyone. Despite her condition, she led with courage, inspiring her people to stand firm. The turning point came when Alex faced Varkan again. Their fight was fierce, echoing through the palace halls. This time, Alex was ready. Using a quick move, he disarmed Varkan and captured him. With their leader defeated, the extremists' attack lost momentum. Many surrendered or fled into the night. In the aftermath, the city was quiet but hopeful. The people saw the courage of their leaders and the power of unity. Zalira spoke to the crowd, her voice carrying through the streets. This battle was not just for me or my child. It was for all of us, to choose peace over fear and hope over hate. Alex stood beside her, proud and ready for the next challenge. The child they awaited was more than a symbol. It was the promise of a new era. As dawn broke over Valithra, the stars seemed to shine brighter. The battle had tested their strength, but it had also shown what was possible when two worlds stood together. The palace was quiet that morning. The usual hum of activity was replaced by a calm that held everyone's breath. Queen Zalira was about to give birth to a child that could change the fate of two worlds. Alex stood nearby, holding her hand, feeling the weight of the moment. The child growing inside her was not just a miracle. It was a symbol of hope for both humans and Valithrians. The healers worked carefully, their faces focused but kind. Zalira's strength amazed them all. She breathed deeply, surrounded by friends and trusted guards. Outside the palace, news had spread. Crowds gathered, whispering prayers and hopes. Many had come to believe the child was a gift, a chance to heal old wounds and build a new future. After hours of struggle, the moment arrived. A cry filled the room, a sound that was both human and alien, soft yet powerful. The healers smiled and showed the newborn to Alex and Zalira. The child had bright eyes that shimmered like Valithrian crystals and skin with a gentle warmth like the sun on earth. Alex's heart swelled. "Our child," he whispered. Zalira nodded, tears in her eyes. A child of two worlds. The child's first breaths seemed to bring peace to the room. The energy of the child was strong, calm, and full of promise. As the days passed, the child grew quickly. The palace halls filled with laughter and joy, a sound that had been rare in recent weeks. The hybrid child learned quickly, showing intelligence beyond their age. The child's small hands seemed to reach out not just to people but to the world itself, as if understanding the connection between Earth and Valithra. Leaders from both worlds sent messages of congratulations and hope. Some who had doubted the child's future began to change their minds. Alex and Zalira stood together on the palace balcony, watching the stars. "We have faced so much," Alex said softly, "but this child is our future." Zalira smiled. "Yes, this child will lead us to peace and unity." The child's birth was more than an event. It was the start of a new chapter. Two worlds, once divided by fear and suspicion, now had a reason to believe in each other. As the sun set over Valithra, the people looked to the future with hope. The story of the human warrior and the alien queen was no longer just a tale. It was the beginning of a new era. The dawn light stretched across the skies of Valithra, painting the city in soft gold and pink. The air was calm and fresh, carrying a promise of new beginnings. The palace, once filled with tension and uncertainty, now buzzed quietly with hope. Captain Alex Carter stood beside Queen Zalira on the balcony, holding their child gently in his arms. The hybrid baby looked up with wide eyes that sparkled like stars, a perfect symbol of two worlds united. Today was a special day, the day the first human Valithrian council would meet. Leaders from Earth and Valithra gathered to discuss the future, inspired by the child who had changed everything. The Great Hall filled with diplomats, scientists, and citizens from both planets. They came with questions, hopes, and dreams. Alex watched as humans and Valithrians shook hands, shared smiles, and began conversations that once seemed impossible. Queen Zalira stepped forward, her voice strong and clear. "This council is not just a meeting. It is a promise that our worlds will work together, learn from each other, and protect the peace we have fought so hard to achieve." She held the child close. "This child is the symbol of our unity. Together, we will build a future where fear and hate no longer divide us." The room erupted in applause, a sound full of excitement and belief. Outside the palace, celebrations filled the streets. Music played, lights danced, and people shared stories of hope. The old barriers between Earth and Valithra began to fade, replaced by friendship and respect. Alex thought back to the day he first arrived on this alien world. He had been a warrior, sent to negotiate peace. Now he was part of something much greater, a family and a future that belonged to all. The journey had not been easy. There had been fear, danger, and loss. But in the end, the courage of one human warrior and one alien queen had changed history. As the sun climbed higher, Alex and Zalira looked at their child with pride and love. The child's eyes seemed to hold the future, a future where two worlds stood together as one. Alex smiled. "This is just the beginning." Zalira nodded. "A new dawn for all of us." And with that, the story of the human warrior and the alien queen came to a hopeful new chapter, one where peace was not just a dream but a reality.